Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and of course, continuing on reviewing Christmassy films on the weekdays. The next Christmassy film that I'm reviewing, and as I mentioned / hinted in the last Christmassy film that I reviewed, basically, it's a Christmassy film on Freevee, and it stars one of the Riverdale cast members. If any of you knew which Christmassy film it was that I was talking about and hinting, well, yes, you read the title and you know which Christmassy film I'm reviewing next. That being the Freevee original movie, Hotel for the Holidays. Yes, Hotel for the Holidays. Yeah, because Hotel for the Holidays, I gotta say, first off, it wasn't, a good success or anything like that when it came out on Freevee, but when I watched it, for the first time, I was thinking, and as of now, after watching it, of course, is it really that bad? Because I thought it was actually pretty good. I thought it was a nice, delightful, romantic, Christmassy film. That's basically what this is. It is a comedy / romantic Christmassy film. And yeah, again, I really thought this was pretty entertaining. It had a pretty good, decent story. The cast of characters in this, what was going on, its funny moments and the romance in this. Yeah, I thought it wasn't that bad, but I can't say it's a huge success or, oh, this is fantastic. No, I mean, yeah, it's true, but, people like me, and I have no doubt that I'm not the only one that enjoyed this, because again, I really enjoyed it. Okay, but as always, read the description / the story. Georgia is a young woman and the manager of a high-end hotel that attracts guests of all kinds, including heartbroken singles, an infamous pop star, and a European ex-prince who recently abdicated his throne. They are all looking to escape from their everyday lives and come to the hotel as a sanctuary over the holidays. Georgia's work and personal life become entangled, when she is caught between the hotel chef, Luke, and the sophisticated ex-prince, staying at the hotel during the holidays. First off, I'd like to point out that this is a Canadian / Canada movie. Yeah, because I just thought I'd throw that out. So, the story itself, taking place in New York City, we have our main character, Georgia, played by Madelaine Petsch, best known for her role in the CW series Riverdale as Cheryl Blossom. Yeah. She is, again, as I read, the manager of this hotel in New York called the Fontaine Hotel, an old hotel building, and with all the characters and those that work and run in the Fontaine Hotel, we of course have Luke, who is the main chef of the hotel, played by Mena Massoud, if I am saying his full name right, I'm pretty sure. There's also Kiki, Georgia's best friend, bestie, and so on, played by Jameson Belushi. Yeah, I got that right. And not only are they best friends, but Kiki, I don't know, because she has those, hyper moments or whatever, if those kind of, bestie girl characters in movies. And she's actually, throughout this movie, responsible for the decorations and stuff like that for the Fontaine Hotel and for, an upcoming event for the hotel that's happening in the hotel on Christmas Eve. There's also one of the, janitors, I think. Well, I mean, who, one of the employees that cleans around and, takes care of the light bulbs and such in the hotel. Milton, played by Neil Crone. Thomas the Tank Engine fans would know him best as the voices of Gordon and Diesel 10. Yeah, and he was also in the original Goosebumps series. Yeah, and also he was in American Psycho 2 and Hairspray. Yeah, the movie Hairspray, that is. And there's also Florence, who is the bartender, played by Jane Eastwood. Yeah, and a couple of other characters. There's also Victor, played by Gabriel Davenport. Yeah, I got that right. And he he too works in the kitchen. And there's Anna, played by Catherine Sandon. Yeah, I think I got that right. So we have our cast of characters that work in the hotel, and we also find out that Luke, he has feelings over, his friend Georgia, and he doesn't have the courage and is a bit shy, obviously, to express his feelings to Georgia because they've been friends for many years. And Georgia, we find out that Georgia is actually wanting to run a different hotel, a fresh new hotel, and which was accepted by the director of the Fontaine Hotel, Madame Fontaine herself, played by Lisa Lenlois, if I'm saying her last name right. Again, you know me sometimes. So she approved of this new hotel, which being called the Aubrey Modern Hotel, yeah. And basically, Georgia was planning to leave the Fontaine Hotel, and she didn't want to tell her, co-workers and, Luke yet about this. And Georgia's having trouble at first, trying to fund and, trying to get this new hotel started and so on. And then we get a couple of characters that, of course, arrive and stay at the Fontaine Hotel. We have, of course, Pandora, who is, of course, as I read, the pop singer, played by Kaylee Shigana, I think I'm getting that right. And basically, at first, Pandora is not making a big name of herself as a pop singer. And I believe, I want to say, it might be him, yeah, because her manager, I want to say, the pop star's manager, Jimothy, played by Augusto Bitter. I'm pretty sure it has to be him. So yeah. And then, of course, we have the ex-prince of Europe, yeah, and that being Prince Raymond, played by Max Lloyd Jones, and also his bodyguard, and, because Prince Raymond, he's getting tired of his bodyguard. In fact, he even mentioned, because when he and Georgia first met, and mentioning his bodyguard being played by A.J. Zoldi, he really doesn't have to be his bodyguard anymore. But his bodyguard doesn't care. And by the way, that's just how he's credited and called, bodyguard. That's it. I'm not sure. I can't remember now if Raymond said his bodyguard by name. I'm not sure. And then there's also, outside of the Fontaine Hotel, there's a guy dressed as Santa, and that's literally who he's credited and called, Santa. We don't know who the dude's name is, played by Morgan Lever. And the guy dressed as Santa has a thing for Kiki and just trying to, hit on her and so on, but she's not, buying it or anything like that, for now, that is. And by the way, it's European, not Europe, sorry. And what goes on in the hotel, because of the decorations and how Kiki is, again, responsible for bringing in, decorations and such for this upcoming annual Christmas party at the Fontaine Hotel called Jingle Mingle for single people, to be there. Like, either they're single or they mingle. Yeah, an interesting name for like a Christmas party. And, well, it's, in this movie and how they describe it, so yeah. And coming up in 4 days, because it's, the movie first takes place 4 days until Christmas, and again, the party happening on Christmas Eve. And coming back to the pop singer, Pandora, because she's feeling depressed and she doesn't know what to do if she can't make a new hit song, and at one point she decides to blend in and pretend to be just a normal person named Pam, and sure enough, I should say, she then meets and interacts with Kiki, and they just go from there, interacting very well, and sure enough becoming friends, and Pandora going as Pam, helping out Kiki with the decorations and stuff like that for what needs to be put in the Fontaine Hotel for the Christmas party. Jingle mingle. But with that going on, also because Milton has feelings over Florence. And there's also this other character that comes to the hotel named AJ, played by Morgan David Jones, and he has a little black Chihuahua dog named Dickens. I assume, like, the dog being named after Charles Dickens, like, don't you think? And at one point, Dickens runs away, and throughout most of the film, AJ trying to find Dickens because he's run away, so, and even trying to, get help and just wondering where Dickens is. And sure enough, for Georgia, when she interacts and meets with the ex-prince, and that being Raymond, and he just wants to go as just Raymond, because, he's no longer a prince, and even talking to Georgia about, what it was like back at, European and, being an ex-prince. Yeah, Europe and European, yeah, same thing. Yeah. Ay, caramba. So, because basically, Raymond had like 11 brothers and sisters? Yeah, so because Georgia is having trouble trying to finance and get the new hotel that she's planning to run, to, get up and running and so on, she comes up with an idea to, and throughout the film, convince ex-prince Raymond to be her co-partner of running this new hotel in New York, and she basically throughout this film gives Raymond a tour around New York City, and convincing him that New York is not a such a bad place, and because where he comes from, and since he now arrived at New York and so on. And Luke, I mean, it was, of course, this had to happen. Should have seen it coming. Luke is getting suspicious over Georgia and Raymond. Even when, say, he went out to get I want to say groceries. I assume, yeah, for the Fontaine Hotel and what to serve in the kitchen and so on. Well, he happened to have spotted Georgia and Raymond out there, and even he saw Raymond kissing Georgia by the hand, but even Georgia later establishes to Luke, and yeah, it's true, princes would do that, you get my point. Luke just becoming jealous, and because, he is just still nervous to express how he really feels over Georgia. But not only that, because, well, I mean, he doesn't know that what's really happening is what Georgia is not ready to tell him and everybody else in the hotel, as I said, because she doesn't want them to know that she's going to be leaving the Fontaine Hotel to run that hotel and so on. And by the way, because with Madame Fontaine, because the conversations that both Madame Fontaine and Georgia have, on video chats, pretty funny, and the fact that Madame Fontaine travels and vacations a lot. It's pretty funny. And even like, say, this server that Madame Fontaine, I guess, finds attractive, Jean-Luc, played by Connor McMahon, I think I'm saying that right, yeah. It's pretty funny and such, and, you know, the chemistry between Georgia and Madame Fontaine, you know, it's mutual, I guess you could say. And Madame Fontaine having that kind of accent, you know, it's pretty funny. So more on the other characters. Milton, for example, because, again, Milton, he has feelings over Florence. And at one point, Milton in, like, the employees-only room, like, the closet, whatever, with all the, you know, the equipment and cleaning stuff they have, you know, paper towels and such, well, he happened to have noticed a Christmas gift, you know, and, you know, to a secret lover, and he thinks that it might be from Florence. He opens it, and it's a red scarf, and he doesn't know this until very later on, because that was not for him. And yeah, Florence didn't get that for Milton. That present actually came from Anna, and it was basically for Victor, because, yeah, Victor, who works in the kitchen alongside with Luke, yeah, because, you know, she has feelings over Victor, and, you know, she does see that Milton has the red scarf by accident, and, oh boy, because this is, you know, horrible for Anna. Like, what is she gonna do next? But of course, again, she eventually does tell Milton about this and so on, and it was an accident. Of course it was, you know, I mean, again, Milton didn't know at first. Also, with the character of AJ trying to find his dog, well, somebody does find Dickens. We do see Dickens running through the hotel lobby, and he is spotted, actually no, because not in the hotel lobby, somewhere out in New York, and some guy by the name of Hunter, played by Aldrin Boondock, I think, yeah, I got that right. So he finds Dickens, and of course, you know, the name, the collar and license, yeah. And sure enough, of course, AJ is reunited with his dog, and AJ and Hunter, they start to, well, hit it off, technically, and, you know, hope they see each other again soon. And more with Kiki and Pandora going as Pam, you know, them, you know, starting to bond and, you know, slowly but surely becoming friends. And with the guy dressed as Santa, you know, still trying to, you know, make a move on Kiki and just flirting with her and so on, but it still doesn't work, still, at first. And more with Georgia and ex-Prince Raymond, you know, Georgia, again, trying to convince Raymond, you know, to, you know, help with this new hotel and so on. And even when Raymond, at one point, suggests that they talk more about this over dinner on top of the rooftop of the Fontaine Hotel, and that's usually where Georgia likes to be at, and, you know, to think and so on. And Luke serving them their dinner, and because how jealous he is, like, he's gonna do something and mess this up. And, you know, it kind of, at first, like, you know, it kind of embarrasses Georgia, because he served pizza and something else, nothing really fancy or anything like that, and, you know, Raymond never having pizza, and again, this embarrasses Georgia. And, you know, she confronts Luke about this, and it's pretty funny. And even when, again, because, you know, Georgia finds out that Luke, well, she thought that Luke was spying on them, but of course he wasn't. He just happened to have spotted them out in New York and so on. But sure enough, Raymond, you know, tells them that the pizza's really good, and, you know, he wasn't really able to have pizza where, you know, he came from and when he was Prince. Like, I guess, like, and I think how he describes it, like, it wasn't, you know, fitting for a prince, you know, you can't have pizza, something like that. So to speed things up a little, ex-Prince Raymond finally, eventually, does accept, you know, this whole thing of helping bring this new hotel to business and becoming a co-partner to Georgia. And by the way, because we get, because with the backstories of the characters, yeah, because, some of the characters' backstories, and with, like, Georgia, because her parents, like, they really weren't making any business, like, working and so on. And, and for Georgia coming into New York, because, wanting to own, something of hers, wanting to own something and so on. The other characters, like, again, because with, like, Pandora, we find out, because, she's not making a big name of herself because of her latest music and so on, and hence, because what happens with her, and becoming friends with Kiki and so on, as I said. Milton, well, we find out because, like, with interactions between Florence and Milton, Milton's backstory is that, well, he lost his wife 12 years ago, and, of course, it's been tough for him. But other characters, what they're going through, not just backstories, but, with where they're at currently, and before Christmas. Florence, well, because, she unfortunately is not able to see her son and daughter-in-law for this Christmas, and, she's going to be alone for this Christmas. Or is she still going to be alone for this Christmas? That is, for now, like, yeah, and what would happen next? And yeah, because eventually Anna does tell Milton that, the red scarf that he has on, and thinking that this Christmas gift came from Florence, it actually was from Anna, and she was going to give it to Victor. And, Milton understands, and it's okay, and it was an accident. Yeah, accidents can happen like this. And even Victor, because we find out later on that Victor, he had feelings for Anna as well. And by the way, everybody in the hotel, according to Milton, because this is right before Luke is going to go up to the rooftop of the hotel to, serve Georgia and Raymond's dinner. Milton tells Luke that, it should be their dinner, Luke and Georgia. And he tells Luke that everybody in the hotel knows how he feels over Georgia. So, yeah, everybody knows. And, just when is Luke going to tell Georgia? And I think the movie also establishes, and Georgia, that Georgia, I think, yeah, she has feelings for Luke as well. And we do see eventually what would become the Aubrey Modern Hotel, the new hotel, and that Georgia is going to run and own. And her and Raymond looking inside and talking about what to do inside of the hotel. And when it comes to talking about serving food and the kitchen and who the chef could be, Georgia recommended Luke, because yeah, she wants Luke to be a part of this new hotel, because to Georgia, Luke is the best chef that she knows. And yeah, because Luke serves some pretty good dishes, like at one point serving some pretty good eggnog and having Georgia taste it. And yeah, to her, it's really good. And even when Luke, what he served for Georgia and Raymond that, embarrassed her at first, and, it was pizza, and Raymond found it delicious. But Raymond, he is starting to feel, I guess, uncomfortable over Luke and after what happened over at dinner with him and Georgia. And he did not have Luke in mind as well for being the main chef of the Aubrey Modern Hotel, because Raymond recommended another chef where he comes from in Europe and so on. And Yeah, and Georgia, of course, is upset by this. Also, coming back to Kiki and Pandora going by Pam, how them becoming friends is growing, and them collecting decorations and such for Jingle Mingle. And, you know, with the guy dressed as Santa still trying to, you know, hit on Kiki, and eventually Kiki decides that, you know, she should have the guy dressed as Santa be her date for Jingle Mingle. And yeah, that's when they start to, at first, kind of hit it off and so on. And, you know, this, of course, has Santa, again, that's what he's credited as. He's happy now that she finally is, you know, wanting to be with him and so on, you know, and for Jingle Mingle, so. And coming back to the characters of AJ and Hunter, because they once again run into each other at this pet store, and basically Hunter owns and works at that pet store, and they did early on want to go together to the Jingle Mingle party. And coming back to Kiki, because there was one moment a little bit early on that Kiki found out about the new hotel that Georgia was going to run, and she was, you know, going to leave the hotel and to work at that new hotel, the Aubrey Modern Hotel. Even, like, say, Georgia almost kind of, you know, kind of gave it away to Kiki, you know, saying that she was going to, you know, she can't wait to leave the hotel and such, and told Kiki that it was a figure of speech. But still, Kiki found out because of, like, you know, one of those, like, folders, whatever, advertising for this new upcoming hotel. So she found out, and sure enough, in the room where Jingle Mingle is going to take place, she basically, you know, confronted Georgia about this, and everybody who works in the hotel heard this, and, you know, they're shocked by this, and Georgia, you know, assuring them and confronting them about this, etc., and Luke, too, being surprised about this, too, and still has not yet expressed his feelings over Georgia yet, and even when he and the others found out what Georgia was going to do. So to speed things up some more, Georgia did tell them that she'll still be there for the Jingle Mingle party. But at one point, and before, you know, she attends to the Jingle Mingle party, she's back at what is to be the Aubrey Modern Hotel, and by video chatting with Madame Fontaine, showing her around, you know, the inside of this new hotel, and we see that her phone is almost about to die because, you know, it's on low battery, and basically, you know, some important stuff that they were saying, and they unfortunately get disconnected because her phone dies. And, well, yeah, there's that, and she tries to make her way out of the hotel doors, but she can't get out because how she got in to the hotel is, you know, by using an app to, you know, get inside, and she has access to getting inside the Aubrey Modern Hotel, but because her phone died, yeah, she can't use the app, and she's stuck in there for now, and trying to, you know, get help from anybody outside, walking and passing by, but nobody can hear what she's saying, because, you know, from outside, and with her shouting, like, help and so on, yeah, with those kind of doors, like, just completely muted. Oh my gosh, like, that's even worse. And they can't understand her, you know, what she's saying. And back at the Fontaine Hotel, because the Jingle Mingle is about to begin, and it does. And even at one point, with the character of AJ, he was supposed to be there and meet with Hunter, but AJ, you know, he's nervous and not ready to do this, because we do find out that AJ went through a divorce. And, you know, it's tough for him at this time, and, you know, for him, you know, to meet and, you know, to be with Hunter, like, yeah. Things kind of get worse at the Jingle Mingle party, and especially because, like, before Georgia left to go back to the Aubrey Modern Hotel, a little bit of a conversation that happens between her and Luke still just is not able to tell. Come on, Luke, just what are you gonna tell her? And especially, like, Raymond kind of giving Luke a hard time, because, with Raymond kind of, not really, because he, for a little bit, he's being kind of a dick over Luke and how he's treating Luke and so on. Everybody is wondering where Georgia is, and Kiki was trying to call Georgia, but they don't know that, well, because her phone died and she's stuck inside of the hotel. She can't get out. Of course, sure enough, someone does go to the Aubrey Modern Hotel to, help Georgia get out of there. And is it Luke that goes to the Aubrey Modern Hotel to find and help Georgia and help her get out of the hotel? No, it's actually Raymond's bodyguard. And it was pretty funny because she was basically telling the bodyguard, to open the door and so on, like using the app, etc. But, he couldn't understand what she was saying because of those doors. And what he does is break the door handle, the doorknob, and so on. It was pretty funny. That was one way for her to get out of there. And by the way, because before that, because, she was still stuck in the hotel, and she was thinking back on a couple of things that Kiki said and Luke said, and, just feeling guilty and bad. And even, like, throughout the film, like, she at times says that she doesn't believe in magic, but she soon does believe in magic, because what happens next, when she is finally rescued thanks to Raymond's bodyguard, and going back to the Fontaine Hotel and Jingle Mingle is happening, and at one point the power goes out, the lights, and they use candles and so on, and things are not looking pretty good for the Jingle Mingle party. Especially because, and I can't forget to mention this, because throughout the film, Georgia put Kiki in charge as manager, and then Kiki passed, the job as manager to Milton. So, yeah. And it was pretty funny, and Luke even at one point, telling everybody that everything will be okay, the power will come back on, and so on. No luck yet on the power coming back on. And there is at one point where Victor and Anna both express their feelings, and what happens next? Victor proposes to Anna. And if that doesn't make the party any better, well, Pandora sings one of her Christmas songs, and that makes the Jingle Mingle party much better. Even AJ did finally show up, because Dickens, the dog, ran away once again and basically went there, to meet up with Hunter, and Dickens knew what he was doing. Smart dog. Because, he had his owner, AJ, chase him, and which, of course, would have him go to Jingle Mingle finally and meet up with Hunter. And AJ finally expresses, to Hunter what he went through and so on, and Hunter assures him and, helps out AJ. And that patches things up and makes AJ feel better, yeah. And Georgia finally showing up, and because, Pandora is singing, and Georgia sees everybody, happy at the party, and couples dancing and so on. She sees Luke sees her, but she kind of steps away because, she doesn't want to go into the room yet, and she is staring at the main Christmas tree in the main lobby of the Fontaine Hotel. And because early on in the film, because she pointed out that, saying that the tree looks crooked and so on, and this is where both of them finally express their feelings for one another, and of course, they become official, and of course, they kiss. Yeah. And of course, they go back into the main room where the Jingle Mingle party is happening, and Georgia gives a speech to everyone, and she basically decides that, you know, she doesn't want to leave the Fontaine Hotel, leave this old hotel, and, you know, with it having problems and stuff like that. She doesn't care because, you know, with leaving that hotel and, you know, wanting to start a new hotel and so on, that's not important to her anymore, because where she's been at, this old hotel building, and with these group of people, these nice group of people working in the Fontaine Hotel, this is where she belongs. And telling Raymond that, you know, it's over, like, you know, no partnership running the new hotel. And Raymond is fine with it. And by the way, because, you know, Georgia, yeah, because wishing everybody a Merry Christmas and so on. And Raymond's bodyguard, we finally hear him speak, and he gets emotional and he says, and Happy New Year. Like, that was his moment. That was his moment, and everybody applauding. And by the way, Raymond hits it off with Pandora, and it turns out that Pandora's songs and music is very popular where he comes from. Yeah, she's very famous there, and again, they hit it off right there and then. So yeah, that was nice and pretty funny. And the next day, Christmas Day, everybody is happy, everything's looking good at the Fontaine Hotel. Of course, yeah, Georgia and Luke becoming official. Some of the characters that stayed at the Fontaine Hotel, well, some of them are leaving. And by the way, because Kiki and Santa, again, that's what he's credited, because they were the ones that accidentally turned the power off. But eventually, and of course, you know, what happens later at the Jingle Mingle party, you know, everything's okay between them, and they become a couple as well, official. And even when she pulled the beard off of him and saw his pretty face, like, yeah. And of course, you know, on Christmas Day, like, he's back outside, you know, because of Santa's ringing the bells and charity and so on, donations, etc. They do finally kiss. Yeah, that was nice and sweet. And Pandora finally reveals herself to Kiki that, you know, she is really Pandora. Like, you know, she had no idea that Pam was Pandora, and it was pretty funny. And it was nice and sweet, and how, you know, Pandora told Kiki that she really found a best friend. Yeah. And, even Milton, because he's right there, and he interacts and meets Pandora, and he has no idea who Pandora is. Not familiar with today's pop stars, I guess you could say. And by the way, Milton and Florence, because they do officially hit it off, and, you know, Florence no longer being alone on Christmas, and on Christmas Day, and Florence just so happened to have given Milton a Christmas gift, and it's a scarf, and it's green, and they, of course, shed a kiss. Yeah, very sweet. And yeah, Pandora and Raymond, they become a couple, and apparently Raymond's bodyguard and Pandora's, again, I think manager, Jimothy, I think they become a couple as well, I'm pretty sure. Okay. And yeah, and also AJ and Hunter, them too, becoming official. Just everybody. And, you know, Anna, Victor, yeah, it's nice to see. And what happens on Christmas Day. And by the way, Madame Fontaine shows up. She finally shows up in person, and she explains to Georgia after what happened, because they got disconnected because, again, Georgia's phone died. After what happened, it got Madame Fontaine thinking that, you know, she doesn't want to open a new hotel, and she tells Georgia that she is promoting Georgia, co-director of the Fontaine Hotel, and she also tells Georgia that Georgia will own 49% ownership of the hotel. Like, yeah, that's a good Christmas gift for her and so on, you know, and things just got better for Georgia and running the Fontaine Hotel. And then, sure enough, this one guy comes to the front desk, and apparently because Madame Fontaine hits it off with this random guy, okay, yeah, and of course, you know, between Georgia and Luke, they're happy as they can ever be, again, becoming an official couple. And early on in the film, because there was one Christmas decoration that Luke put on the tree. You know those decorations where, you know, it'd be a picture of you or family, you know, those decorations. Well, early on in the film, he hung up on the tree in the main hall of the Fontaine Hotel a picture of him when he was 7 years old, yeah. And at the end of the movie, he hangs up another decoration with a picture, a selfie of him and Georgia, because early on in the film, on the rooftop of the hotel, he brought her a drink and they took a selfie, and that being their first Christmas selfie. And yeah, him hanging it up on the tree. And because Georgia early on complained that the tree looked crooked, she doesn't care anymore. And she did finally believe in magic, because hey, it was magic when they finally became official, you know what I mean? Because again, she finally believed, and you know, even early on, because it got her best friend Kiki not believing in magic as well. But sure enough, yeah, because things are better between Georgia and Kiki. In fact, Georgia placed Kiki like official proposition or whatever, like of doing decorations and such for the Fontaine Hotel, making Milton the official manager of the hotel. It was very nice. And yeah, because with Georgia and Luke, because their first Christmas selfie being hung on the tree, she doesn't care if the tree's crooked, and they share another kiss, and yeah, it was a sweet way to end the film right there, and we get a little montage on everybody that became an official couple, and, you know, it says Merry Christmas. That was a nice and sweet way to end the film right there. Hotel for the Holidays, again, I thought was pretty good. I really enjoyed this romantic/comedy Christmassy film, and I think, yeah, it's right there next to Love Actually being one of my favorite romantic/comedy Christmassy films. And I understand that Hotel for the Holidays didn't do really good and so on. I understand it, but I'm sure as though there are others like myself that really enjoyed this romantic/comedy Christmassy film, no doubt. The storytelling I thought was pretty good. What was going on in the story of this movie, the characters, the emotion, the funny moments, everything about this romantic/comedy Christmassy film, which being Hotel for the Holidays, I really enjoyed it. And I'm giving Hotel for the Holidays 8 out of 10 stars. Yes, 8 out of 10 stars for Hotel for the Holidays. And what about you guys? What did you think of Hotel for the Holidays itself? Did you enjoy it? And, you know, did you think that this was a pretty good romantic/comedy Christmassy film? And what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Hotel for the Holidays. More review videos are on the way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And of course, continuing on, reviewing more Christmassy films on the weekdays. Stay tuned later tonight, because the next Christmassy film I'm going to be reviewing, along with a friend of mine, well, to best describe it, it's right there next to Die Hard, being an action-packed Christmassy film, and it just so happens to feature David Harbour as Santa Claus. Yeah, you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Stay tuned for that. Take care, peace out, and happy holidays / Merry Christmas to you all.